The contingent of tabulans waited at the charcoal remains of the campfire. Some patiently, most impatiently. Where were the humans? The older ones chided the younger ones for being fidgety. The humans had been left here for 15 years. It would take them some time to return to the departure point for extraction. The sun sank, turning the sky lavender, and the once yellowish-green grass a muted grey. One of the junior engineers used a welding torch to start a small campfire from the wood stored there, presumably by the humans. Out of the darkness stepped a human, almost 50% taller than the tabulans, and noticeably thicker. Most humans wore spacesuits or multi-pocketed overalls. This one wore skins which covered most of his torso. Muscles moved underneath, in the way that most of the tabulans had only seen in anatomy educational holograms. In one hand, he held a long stick tipped with a rock. A sharp rock. From impatient restlessness to solid still shock, most of the tabulans froze in place. The group leader took a step toward him. "Hello, it is good to see you again." The eldest froze, as the first monster stepped into the light. Upright, it would have been at least twice the size of the human, with muscles rippling casually under scaled hide. Its head, surrounded by a wreath of elongated scales, had a pair of eyes that glowed in the firelight. Eyes that faced the front like a human's, like a hunter's. A nose and mouth covered in a hardened material like bone or chitin. But the teeth were the most terrifying thing about it. Two of them projected down and out of the mouth, each as long as the human's forearm. The humans spoke. The translators worked. "Welcome back to Irafez 2. If I'm not mistaken, you were part of the group that asked for our help and brought us to the surface. Isn't that so?" "You are correct. I was just an ensign then, but now I am Captain Corrivel. And you are Peter Lafayette?" "Pierre Lafayette. The other delegates will be here soon." As if on cue, another human came out, also dressed in primitive skins, this time accompanied by a monster easily 3 times as large as the first. Although lacking the long fangs, its long claws more than made up for it. Despite its massive size, it moved silently. "That bulk must be pure muscle to accomplish that," mused Corrivel. "I apologize for our appearance. The native life here found the smell of our synthetic cloth to be overpoweringly terrible, like a skunk. Only the smoke from your fire allows them to come this close." The tension created a silence in the clearing. Perhaps that was why everyone could hear the rustling grass and faint yips before seeing dozens of pairs of glowing eyes in the grass. Eventually, one pair emerged from the darkness to reveal a third monster. Although clearly related to the other two, it was small. Smaller than a human. Its scales were much sleeker than the other two, and it had 2 fangs twisted into spirals that jutted forward. "Alright, now that we're all here, let's talk." "Indeed. So, would you like to leave? Begging your pardon, but most humans don't like to admit failure. And the way so many of you rushed to volunteer. From every corner of space you came. For everyone we accepted, it seemed like we had to turn away 18. Lafayette's brow furrowed. "I remember how hard it was to get accepted, but we didn't fail. You can see the results right here." "There's no shame in it. If humans couldn't accomplish it, I'm sure tabulans wouldn't have been able to either. We aren't hunters like you." Lafayette turned to the other human. "Basma, can you make sense of this?" Basma replied, "Perhaps playing the original message would help. It has been a long time since we first heard it." "Indeed." Corrivel gestured to one of the technicians. Soon, they were watching a recording of a 20-year-old emergency transmission. It started with an image of a tabulan captain. Please, if you can hear this, please send help to Irafaz 2. The ecosystem is in terrible danger. A disease has wiped out all the adult carnivores. The image faded into a slideshow of alien wildlife. Leaving the young alive to starve to death. Please, we need the best hunters in the galaxy to take care of them. We need the humans. There was a moment of silence. Coravel broke it. As you can see, the task is not complete. But it is. We took care of the orphan cubs, as many as we could find anyway, and raised them to adulthood. What more could you ask for? Basra stepped between Lafayette and Coravel. Lafayette, I think I heard the problem. The message was in English. I think the translator used an idiom that was misunderstood. We heard, take care of them, and took it literally. The Tabulan said, take care of them, and that meant... Lafayette snapped his head to glare at Coravel. What did you mean? What did you think we would do? What did you want us to do? Please, begged Coravel. We meant no offense. We just wanted the best hunters we knew of. And hunter might as well be killer, after it passes with the translator. You monsters! Monsters? Us? You were the ones that still eat meat. You were the ones that volunteer for war. We go to war to protect each other, especially the young, and you decided that we should kill orphans instead. Lafayette's aggression was mirrored by his companions. Basra had managed to string her bow and nock an arrow without anyone noticing. The two larger native animals were glaring, and the scales on their necks were upright. We should have known better than to send monsters like you here. On that we agree. Dabrowski! A strange human howl wailed from the darkness, echoed by a far more alien version of that same howl, echoed on all sides. From all sides they charged, the smaller, tusked predators. Speed and teamwork washed over any resistance like a wave destroying a sandcastle. There were many injuries, but few deaths. The Tabulans were clustered beside their ship, with a ring of hostile, tusked predators in a semicircle around them. A few of the Tabulans lay dead and ignored. Two of the tusked predators lay nearby. Each had a mate nearby, howling into the cold sky. One human had died, jumping between Lafayette's companion and an armed Tabulan guard. You leave now, was all Lafayette could spit out. Basma found the strength to speak more. Captain Coravel, under Article 2, Section 1 of the Interspace Treaty, I claim this planet, Ifraz 2, to be under the protection of planet Earth. Coravel, bloody and stubborn, looked at Basma. That article is for the protection of developing sapient species. It does not apply. Basma exchanged a glance with her bear-like companion. Kwawan, what do you think? Little monsters come. Little monsters kill parents. Basra come. Basra help, Kwawan. Little monsters come. Little monsters leave. No come back. The Tabulans widened their eyes in shock. They're sapient? And you tried to kill them. Kill all of them. You don't deserve space travel, but realistically I can't do much about it. Humans are in charge here now. We're going to uplift our new friends, and if you have a problem with that... Lafayette leaned in close. The whole universe will know. You tried to commit triple genocide.